Hello, everyone. It's me, KP. I'm back in my studio, ready for Cyber Moon Day, or also known as Cyber Makey Day. huh. Anyway, so I had a little lunch, and I'm feeling much better. feeling my energy for makiness return. Got a cup of coffee, which usually I don't drink coffee this late into the day, but for some reason I guess mostly because I've just been in the studio all morning since, gosh, I think I started at 7 this morning, just, getting over here and getting ready for the day. But I still feel like it's morning somehow. Anyway, I'm going to just give it a few minutes and I will be right back. Okay, we're going to work with my collage sheet and do a couple different projects using my Many Moons collage sheet. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to just, since nobody is on here yet, I'm going to go ahead and put a base coat of paint on this board.
I didn't want to.
Oh, no, but those aren't what I needed. That wasn't what I was printing. It's okay. That's not
Try it
good.
again and make sure.
I can't because it's okay. It's okay. Thank you. It's fine. I don't really need it. All right, so I think I'm just here by myself, but that's okay. Just in case, if anybody finds me, I'm just painting a 5x5 board with a golden heavy body acrylic paint. It's cerulean blue deep. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a nice layer of paint on my board and on my edges. I was going to do a couple of little projects using this collage sheet. And again, this is the Many Moons special edition collage sheet just for, you know, just created especially for Cyber Moon Day. I mean, we will have the hard copies available to purchase, but we wanted to give this as a freebie, and it has not been available before, so it's completely new. Oh, no, Jan, it's okay. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Now, I won't, at least you're on the phone, but I won't feel like I'm just talking to myself. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. This is a 5x5 cradled panel, and I just painted it with a little bit of heavy body cerulean blue. I think I'm going to do something that's a little more like moon themed. And then we're also going to do one. I don't know if you kind of remember the piece I did last year. Let me try to find it and pull it up. I was trying to print it out, but of course my printer ate it right before coming live. So let's see if I can find it on here and show you a picture. I did it last year when we came out with the other holiday collage sheet. And I thought it was really cute, and I thought I could do something similar. So to show you how we could do a celestial piece and or make it into more of a well, shoot, I can't find the piece that I did, but if you recall, those 3 moon faces I did as ornaments. And also, if you know this stamp, it's sort of a theme that I like to revisit. So I think we're going to do a little sort of celestial themed piece on this larger board, but then we're going to do one that's maybe like a little bit more of a Christmas theme using these guys, okay? Or something along those lines. All right. And I just need to pull something up here so I can look at it real quick. Let's see here. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so what I have here is an art bite. Do you remember these? I think we still have them on our site. And we sell different sizes, and they're sort of a textural, sort of the same texture as a canvas, but they're basically like a matte board. And so I love these for, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. I love these pieces for creating little collages and things on there because they will take a decent amount of medium, you know, but they have a nice texture similar to canvas. So I'm going to rub a little bit of Moonlight Duos on there with a couple different colors. And we'll mix some paint on here as well. Just wanted to get a little nice base coat, maybe a little bit of teal. And actually, that's the color I'm going to choose to paint on here also. So for this project, you're just going to want your collage pieces you're going to want your art bite or some kind of little canvas panel. You know, your Moonlight Duos and some gesso maybe. Just all the things that you would want to do like a mixed media painting with. I am going to squish a little bit of teal paint onto here as well. I want it to be Christmassy, but it doesn't have to necessarily be green and red. You know what I mean? I like a pink and teal are also beautiful Christmas colors, I think. I'm just mixing up some colors. I have a little bit of this permanent green light and a little bit of white gesso. I'm going to mix. I just want a little bit of more of a kind of, I don't know, grass green or Kelly green. I'm just mushing colors right now, like I said, just to get a nice little base layer. And some nice darks and lights. You know, I just want to, again, I want it to be Christmassy without being too traditionally Christmassy. Right, so I like that. And then again, I'm going to hit this with my blow dryer just for a second. Yeah, Jan, pink and turquoise with silver is nice, and maybe I will take your lead on that. I was definitely going to throw some neon pink in there, but I want to rub a little bit of my dark Aurora teal on here again on the edges, just a little bit. Deepen up those edges just a bit. If I don't like it, or if it isn't as, the gradients aren't as smooth as I'd like, I'm going to get a baby wipe and push that through a little bit again. Now, do be careful when you are working with baby wipes and these. I just want you to know you do need to be careful because it is still paper. So remember, if you over wet it, excuse me, if you over wet it, it will start to pill and tear up a little bit. So, hi Libby, welcome back. And Robin, good to see you again. And yay, you got your little canvas. So this will work. That will work just as great as these art bites. Okay. I just grabbed these because they were on the top of my pile, but definitely some little canvas panels will work great also. All right. So now I am going to maybe throw in some hot pink. I don't know if I'm quite ready for it yet, but let's see. We'll just maybe, oh, you know what I maybe need is maybe like my checkerboard stamp. Let me grab my checkerboard stamp. Now, this is the same checkerboard stamp. I just cut one of mine and modified it a little bit because I'm using it a lot just for edges and stuff like that. So I cheated and cut mine up. All right, I just wanted a hint of a little checkerboard. It doesn't have to go all the way around. And if I wanted to even make it a little bit more incorporated, then of course I can just sort of knock that back a little bit and make it fade out. And that way it looks more as, you know, sort of part of the piece rather than just stamped on there. Not that anything's wrong with looking stamped, but you know what I mean? It just makes it a little more incorporated is really the only word I can think of. Okay. So now this is where I do want to make sure that my images are trimmed nicely, because remember, if you leave any white showing, it's really going to show up. Although there's ways that you can definitely address that and fix it up once it's already on your panel. So right now, I'm just looking at the composition, and you know, seeing if I really need 3, maybe even just 1 would be okay. I don't know, and obviously, you know, that's something you can kind of just play around with and figure out as you go along. So yeah, Jan had a great idea. You can obviously just take a little bit of Moonlight Duos and even a little ink pick or whatever, and you can sort of line the edges if you have those white edges and you don't want that. And you don't, because if you have those little white edges, it just makes it look unfinished. But this will give a nice little edging, and it also gives some value, some nice dark value, which oftentimes is something that you will definitely want, and especially it's kind of going on that dark background, so that will be good. All right. So I'm thinking, honestly, even just 1. I'm feeling like this is the one I want, okay? Because I like that it's looking straight ahead, and I like that size is good. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to grab a couple of my other collage sheets real fast. All right, I said a couple, but I lied. Actually, I have a whole box. And I'm going to pull out just something with some color. So really, I'm feeling like even just this is fine. I just need something with a little bit of color to cut out. And I also want some kind of line. So again, this is where you're going to want to pull stuff out and just kind of play around with it. See how you're liking it. I want to do a little strip of color for the string. And remember too, all of these are definitely changeable. You can paint right on top of these and sort of embellish the collage sheets. You can tint them with ink pads and stuff like that. So don't feel really constrained by it. You know, you just want to hold it up and see if you even like it, how, you know, if it's going to work there or whatever. If you end up needing just even a plain piece of paper, you could paint it or stamp it or whatever you want. I just know that I need something to mount on there. And then I'm also going to make, I'm going to try anyway to make, I'm going to take some of this colored paper, and some of these were messed up. That's why I have them like this. And I'm just going to make a little bow. So, and of course, if you have a, I don't have one right, I don't know if I even have one at all, but I definitely don't have one handy. But if you had a stamp of a bow, that would be great. You could stamp it right on any cute little paper and you could cut it out and mount it. And I feel like, I'm not sure if I'm grooving on those colors or not, but it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing some stuff down. Actually, though, you know, I wanted just a bit of a little bit of a glow. So I'm going to take some silver because Jan recommended silver, and I think that sounds great. So I have this iridescent silver acrylic. Yeah. Oh, that Jan, that would have been a cute idea too. And I thought about using the washi tape, but I already put it all away. Like a big dummy. So I'm just going to squish a little bit of silver paint right down, and I'm making a pretty big circle here. Again, fingers are the best sometimes. And we're not really supposed to be finger painting with our acrylic paints, but every now and then you just kind of can't help it. All right, so that should give a nice little glow. If I want it to be a little more gradient, then of course wipe some away. I'm going to wait till it dries just a little bit more, but that will make it a little smoother. Okay, give a nice little moon glow there. And again, we'll start with the gluing. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to love this or not. The good thing about collage is that if you don't like it, you definitely can, you know, paint over it, glue something back down over it, whatever you want. Remember, when you are collaging, nice thin layers of glue is definitely what you want so that you don't get a lot of buckling and stuff like that. And I'm wiping up with a baby wipe because I did get some little spots of paint. I don't know how, but somehow some little globs of paint got on there. And so I'm just trying to clean that up. All right, and so now we have our little bow. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of down out of the frame here. Let me do a couple things. I'm going to go ahead and just use my file to pop that off real fast. And then, I don't know, you know, I really want to look at this and make sure that that bow is what I want. Okay, maybe I want it to go up just a little. Not 100% sure about the color. So this is where, you know, definitely before I start gluing stuff on, I want to make sure that I'm happy with it. So I think I'm going to try something else because I don't know if I want that bright red bow or not. So I have this piece here from another moon on one of my other collage sheets. So let's try it. Not sure if I like that color either. So you know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to take one of my one of my Moon Glow pads and see if I put some color over the top if I like it better. No, I don't like those flowers. It's just so this is something I'll obviously have to play around with a bit. Maybe these polka dots. I'm looking at the, yeah, Jan, she says, you like the red one better? Okay, well, you know what? It might be fine because I'm going to end up putting some hot pink in there anyway. So yeah, let me just glue that on. I'll go ahead. I'm going to go with it. We'll just make it work, and I can always color over the top if I don't like it. I don't want to keep you guys on here watching me while I struggle with the color of a bow. And then, of course, I will go in probably with a little marker or a pencil or something. I'm going to try this pencil first and go ahead and, no, not the pencil. That's not working. Let's see here. Maybe just some paint then. I'll take a little paint. You know what? No, I'm going to use an ink pick. I'm going to use an ink pick and my Moonlight Duo. That's what I'm going to do. And we're going to try to just add a little color right in the center of that bow. All right. So, and then, you know, we can paint it and put some polka dots, whatever we want. So I definitely want some words. Let's see what I got here. So from my other collage sheet, my holiday collage sheet from last year, we have the Merry and Bright. Oh, and we also have all those little lines. Those would have worked also. And of course, I could have cut some of those bows off. Well, those would have been a little small. But anyway, this collage sheet will work great with the Many Moons collage sheet, obviously. That was one of the things I kind of wanted to show you. Yeah, and it'll kind of pull together, I think, with that ribbon also. I don't know, I'm having a little trouble deciding, but I kind of like that, maybe. Oh, I wish I had one. Oh, you know what? This is, my dreams have come true. I said, I was just about to say, I wish I had one that said make merry. And then I looked over here and by golly, I have one that says make merry on her dress from the other collage sheet. So there you go. Jan, you're so funny. Okay. So I'm not feeling like it's too perfect right now, but hopefully I'll still get there. All right. So, okay. So I don't like when things just look stuck on. So a lot of times I'll take like a Stabilo or something, or even some like shading gray. You just need to be careful because you remember that this Stabilo pencil is very movable. It's very water soluble. So, but I kind of like to line things a little bit with it, but it can make a mess. So you just need to kind of be aware of that. I'm going to take a clean ink pick and a little bit of moisture, not much, and I'm wiping a lot of that away because all I want is sort of just a little bit of a kind of a, I guess you could call it kind of a drop shadow, but I just want to make it look a little more incorporated. A lot of times, even just taking a regular like graphite pencil will kind of help that too. And you're a little bit safer with the graphite pencil than you are with like the Stabilo because the Stabilo, if you're not real careful, it can really muddy and muck stuff up. So just kind of be aware of that. I'm going to squish that all in and sort of burnish it a little bit. Again, just to help it incorporate and become a little bit more part of the piece. All right, one thing I will tell you, if you want to spray varnish or do anything to this, then you need to make sure that you put a what's it called? I'm so sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Isolation coat, something across it now, so that, because if I go and start to varnish this, oh, I'm sorry. So I am going to spray it. Okay, I'm going to spray it with either some workable fixative or something that I continue to, if I want to keep working on it, because this will become, if I varnish it and it soaks up some of the varnish, it'll become discolored. So a lot of times I'll spray it and then do my varnish. Okay. I feel like this side still needs a little help. And it's not like I have to go along and outline every single thing, but I just, again, want it to sort of incorporate a little bit more. And you do that through the, shading and layering color. I really feel like that helps a lot. Remember too, you can, if I wanted to paint on any of these pieces, I can do that too. But again, be very careful, because if I paint only on some parts and then I varnish, when I varnish, the paint, the part that is painted will not become see-through, but the part that's unpainted will become more translucent. Does that make sense? If I paint on her acrylic paint and then I varnish, you're gonna see through on the parts that did not get painted. I hope that makes sense. And I've sort of learned that the hard way. Now my Make Merry is not super legible, so I would probably go in there and maybe paint around the letters, make them pop out just a little bit more. I could do that with paint, or I could do it with a marker or something like that. I feel like this still needs a little something something. I don't feel like I'm all the way done, and so I think that I might, I love, and I do this all the time. In a lot of my work, I will, and you saw me even do it on the little house that we did earlier. I like to just add a little bit of words and things for texture. So I think I'm going to use the same stamp, and I'm just going to stamp it in a few spots. And again, you see how it looks very like stamp, stamp, stamp. I don't want that. So I am going to knock it back. In some spots, it will make it look like it's just part of my background, like it's peeking out in spots, okay? And I'm purposely pulling it back some so that it doesn't look so cookie cutter. And I feel like I could use a little bit more even. And it's kind of nice because, like, now these are very tiny words. It's not like you were going to sit there and read them, but some of the words that are peeking out, that are legible, I can see right off the top are like winter wishes and happy and warm, holly, bells. So, I mean, it's just kind of the right amount. And then also, if I like that little sheen, but if I feel like it's not quite gradient enough, or if it's a little too strong, of course, I could go back in and sort of knock it back a little bit too, just using some of the colors I had already pulled out. All right, and let's see if I can, I'm feeling like I might want my splatter stamp. Let me grab it real quick. This is definitely an old favorite, and I still use it tons, even though it's been in the RubberMoon lineup for years and years. It is definitely one of my favorite stamps. And I'm going to use my neon pink here, and I'm just spreading a little bit out. I would use my silicone pad, but it's too dirty now. So I'm just putting it on my canvas here. And I'm just gonna use a little splattering of neon pink. You really can't go wrong. All right, and now, of course, I can go ahead. I do want to finish off the back, and this would be great. Look at, you could cut this out. You could put some, you could either paint that or put another piece of cute scrapbook paper. But I'm feeling like this little label would look so cute. And the nice thing about it is that it's the same exact style. So really match well. Not that we have to be matchy-matchy, but let's do it anyway. This would make a great little tag for somebody's gift. I mean, like, I don't know if you want to spend that much time on somebody's tag, but if you really love them a lot, that would be good. Or even if you like them pretty well. Let's see. All right. So, well, sadly, I really feel like it should go on this way, but whatever. You get the idea, right? Let me just find some cute scrapbook paper. And I'm feeling like I want something with some cute colors. Like more, more the teals and pinks like we talked about. I don't know if I have anything like that. Well, this would look kind of cute on the back, maybe. Let's try it. What do you think? Do you think that on the back? Oh, thank you, Robin. Yay. I don't know if this is, do you guys think this is cute on here? Wait, I see one more that might be cute. Hold on. Well, I'm not really seeing anything with the exact color scheme that I would love, but and that's just a crying shame. Maxie Moon, if you're watching, do you have any cute Christmas paper that has teals and pinks? I doubt she's watching. She's busy working today. Okay, Jan says put it on the back. It'll work, right? I'm too picky and I get like crazy ideas about exactly what I need, and it holds me up a lot of times. So I love having you here just saying, yeah, do it. Here we go again with the glue finger. I feel like a 007, only I'm glue finger instead of, what was the other one? Gold finger. I must be getting silly. I'm not even breathing any fumes and I'm still crazy. So, is anybody ready for Christmas? I feel like Christmas is so close to Thanksgiving this year. The kids were home for Thanksgiving, which was really nice. Although I have to say, for those of you who have had kids that go off to college, you know that it's lovely having them home. But once you're used to empty nest, it's also lovely having them leave. And so I'm like, oh, I think Marin was like, oh, I'll see you like in a week, because she has a week of, I don't know, like it's called reading week. So she has almost a full week in between classes. I don't think Mikey has the same for his, I don't know. Anyway, I was like, in a week. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to come home for another week. And I was like, oh, okay. You're welcome here for 4 more years. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I'm terrible. Anyway. All right, let's glue this puppy on here. And then this way, of course, you would not have to finish off the back. But if you were wanting to use this as a gift tag, or again, if you wanted to punch a hole and make a cute little ornament, either way, it would, be nice to have that back done, right? So all we have to do is trim it up again. if I can find my cutting pad. You know what? I'm going to get a different cutting mat. That is just driving me crazy. And I don't, it's sort of like whenever I use a brush that's too big or too small, I just keep like torturing myself. So after a while, I'm like, you know, I have a different size. I could really use it. And again, if you have any little overhang that you don't like, you can even it up just by running your X-Acto along there, or again, using your little art file. And so here you have it, another little mixed media collage piece. And of course, you could easily spray that, you know, but I can't help it. I'm looking at it and I really want to work on those letters. It's driving me crazy. So you just have to bear with me for a couple more minutes. Get a smaller detail brush here. And I don't know, I'm feeling like I want to paint around the letters, but maybe I'm just going to paint them kind of quickly. And I will tell you that this is not the good kind of brush. This is more, it's very soft. I would use this for tiny, tiny little watercolors. It's way too soft, so my letters are not going to be too great, but it's okay. They will stand out better. And so funny, on camera, I don't even think you can see it. So it really doesn't matter, does it? If I had sprayed it first, like a smart person, I could easily wipe that off. But now instead, I'm probably going to have to cut out another piece and put it on there, or do what I originally wanted to do. Actually, if I let this dry now that I've made a huge mess, if I really let it dry super nicely, then I can go in and paint around it. And I think that's probably what I will do. So I will finish this up, you know, off camera, and then I'll post a picture of it because I do want to finesse it just a little bit. And then I probably will go ahead and for this one, I think I'm going to poke another hole and put another string through the top. And I don't know, even I'm feeling like, honestly, when I'm looking at this, that edging it with some embossing or something would be really nice. I don't do a lot of embossing, but I'm just feeling like it could use a little sprucing up, maybe even some silver around the edges. Okay, let's try that. I like it. I'm happy with it, but I'm feeling like it's not quite where I would like it to be exactly. So the only thing I need to do is find my stamping mount again, which seems to have grown wings and flown away. Or the other option is that it might just be buried under the mounds of stuff on my table. Might be that. Jan, she says, I wish you would carry a super fine brush. You know what? I am working with silver brush. So maybe I will definitely take that into account, and maybe we will do that. I think that's a great idea. Definitely like it with that silver around there a little bit better. So again, you know, just oftentimes you're just going to want to, you know, finesse stuff until you get it how you like it. I don't always know exactly when that is, but usually when I'm just sitting and playing and following my muse, following my instincts, it usually works out pretty well. But sometimes, I won't lie, it takes a little bit longer than I hope. A lot of times I think, oh gosh, I can just get that done in a snap, but it doesn't generally work out that way. And again, I'm just pulling a little bit of the silver back, just a tiny bit. And again, you may or may not want to use any paint to finesse the face or, do any other details, but I'm pretty much happy with her. I feel like this could use a little more definition. And, dots always seem to help things. So if you're feeling like you want some extra little oomph, maybe some little dots around are in order. All right. Anyway, like I said, I could play blah, blah, blah all day long. The only thing I know that I will do is I am going to go back in and fix up the words that say make merry. Actually, I could even go in, you know what? So this is one thing that I love about being spontaneous. I'm going to go in. I'm actually going to paint that. I think I'm just going to paint it with my little bit of my neon paint here. I completely ended up covering up the little piece of collage, but that's okay. And again, I have another collage sheet, so if I end up not liking what I do, then of course I can very easily go back in and just glue another piece right over the top. So Jan, on your brushes, are you looking for something a little bit firmer, more of a mixed media brush, not like a watercolor brush, right? Because if that's what you're looking for, I have just the thing, and I will order some in. Or, yeah, well, I was going to say I might be able to find a link and put it on our affiliate thing, but I think it might be easier because I couldn't find all my favorite brushes where you could order them on Amazon. So I'm going to, yeah, I'll order some in, okay, and I'll let you know. It shouldn't take too long because, again, like I said, I just started working with silver brush not that long ago. And so I'm sure it won't be any problem for me to order that. Okay, I'm going to get my tiny stamp set. And again, I'm going to use this one, even though this is not a RubberMoon set. This is a very old set from actually Restoration Hardware many years ago. But, and you know what? I need to blow dry this just for a quick second. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp the words right over the top. I like the way that even looks better just because I love the stamped look. And it kind of pulled it together in a way that I was hoping it would. All right, my stamping was a little bit off. So, of course, if you cared and you wanted it to not have that little space, you could easily do something like add a little star or a little heart. I'm going to try, well, I guess I'm just going to add a little heart with some paint. Do you know what size you would want, Jan? Like a little number 2 or number 1 or 0? And I know that I already did like the little splatters, the little splatter stamp with the hot pink, but I feel like it needs to be brightened up just a tiny bit also. So I'm going to use a little bit of white gesso. Again, going back to when I said, oh, putting little dots on things is really nice. I wanted to incorporate maybe some white polka dots. Not really polka dots, but you know, little white dots. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating because you think like, oh, you know, this isn't going to take long. Oh, I'm almost done. But then you realize you're not really almost done. That you really still have a lot more work left to do. Again, I'm pulling back some of those splatters again, just because I want it to not be super uniform. All right. And now I feel like I like it better. And I feel like it's pretty much done. I will go ahead and actually put a little bit of the neon pink paint in her bow just to make it, I mean, not that it has to be matchy. I don't mean it like that, but just so it can pull some of that back up in there. All right. And I am going to call it done. Again, I probably will go ahead and put punch a hole in and put a little string on. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I'm going to put these in your packages whenever whoever places an order today that's watching the live stream. We'll do a random drawing, and we will put these little makeys in with your packages when you order. All right, so I won't poke a hole in this one. That way, whoever gets it can do that if they want to, or if they don't want to, that's okay too. The other thing, and I don't know if it's just because the angle on the screen, I don't know that I like the silver around her to be quite so harsh. So I would maybe go in and soften that a little bit again, but no big deal. A lot of that's just because on camera and the lighting and stuff like that. All right. Well, that was another fun makey. I hope you liked it too. There's the back. Pretty sort of like a modern little Christmas, you know, I guess it could be a card or just, I don't know, an ornament or a piece of Christmas art. If you wanted this just as a piece of Christmas art, you could put it on a little easel or, you know, something like that in a little frame. If you'd put it in a frame, then you wouldn't need to worry about the back, but it is always nice finishing off the back anyway, right? All right. I'm going to go look at the comments now and I'm going to stop talking. Okay, Jan, I gotcha. I read all your comments and I will get a couple. I think if I can find a ruby satin, I think that's the one that you would like. All right. So Jan said she'd add a little hanger, so that'd be super cute. Yeah. So Robin says sometimes, you know, until you're really satisfied. Sometimes I think that we get afraid to continue. Like we kind of like it. Like, you know, you're going along, you're like, oh, I like the way this looks. So you get more and more afraid and you're more and more invested as the time that you put in. So, you know, the more time you put in, the more invested you are, and the further along you get and you feel like you like it. Oh, I like it, but you're not quite sure. So what I recommend when you're doing that, if you are feeling unsure about it or, you know, like I'm not sure if I'm done, I don't want to add anything, then definitely step away for a while. And also my other recommendation is to take a picture. If you take a picture of it and look at the photo, oftentimes you will really see where your values are needed and if you want to, continue to push it. I like to sometimes go a little bit further, even if I risk messing it up, because I feel like if I don't try, then I'll never know. And that's how I've learned so much, right? So many times I've gone overboard, gone a little too far, and then I'm not happy. I liked it a step earlier, but it's okay because I learned a lot by doing that. So really give yourself permission to do that, okay? I probably, I'm not going to tell you that sometimes you might not be sorry. Sometimes you might be sorry, but it's a great learning tool. Actually, all I'm doing right now, again, because I did look in the monitor, and as I was talking, I realized that I felt like she just needed a little shadow up underneath her a little bit more. And I don't care. I mean, it might look a little like hair. I don't think it really does, but it's okay. It needed that little bit of darkness down in there. Okay. So again, I would definitely spray this, not really the back, but I would definitely spray and varnish this piece. All right. So hooray for another Makey. And I thank you so much for joining me again. It's 4 o'clock now. So I wanted to work on this piece, and I will. I'm going to do that right now, but I probably will just sort of mess around. I'll still chat with you. For anybody who wants to stick around, please don't feel obligated. I don't want to keep you. I know it is Cyber Moon Day, and so I mean, in my mind, there isn't really anything better to do than make art, but not that isn't the same as equating to watching me make art. So if you want to hang out and still watch me play with this, that is great. If you have to get going, I want to say that I thank you and appreciate you so much. I love, this already. I love getting makey with all of you. I'm super excited to be doing this for the days leading up to Christmas. So let me just tell you a little bit about that. I will be live every morning on the weekdays here on RubberMoon TV at 11. I'm going to do what I'm calling the stamp down to Christmas. And so that means we are only going to stamp and color. Okay. I'm going to pick some of my favorite stamps from every one of our artists, and I'm going to stamp their stamp and I'm going to color it in. Now, sometimes I might, paint it with watercolor, or I might use pastels, or I might paint it with acrylic, or I might color it with markers or pencils, but I'm just going to color an image. So I don't know if any of you got to join us yesterday, but this is the one that we did. So many people love this stamp from our ad, for our Black Friday ad, that I thought it'd be fun to color, for all of you. So that's what we did. And so that's what we're going to do every day until Christmas, with the exception, I'm not going to be on weekends. It's only going to be weekdays. If I do a weekend, that's just going to be for fun and it'll be spontaneous. And I am not going to be on Friday the 6th. Okay. So I just wanted to let you know about that. So Phyllis, it's so nice to see you. It's okay. If you're late, better late than never is definitely correct. And yes, I'm just looking over at the comments, and Libby, yes, taking a picture is very, it has been one of my most helpful, things to do, is to take a picture and look at it. You just see it in a completely different light. All right, so for this one, I wanted to do something a little just more celestial. We did all these Christmas pieces. Oh, and let me pull these back out. For those of you who maybe weren't here earlier, I'll just show you. We worked with all the little house facades this morning. We have a couple different house pieces like this. from Gypsy Soul Laser Cuts. That's gslcuts.com. Gina Hubbard is the one who helps me create all these pieces. So together we made the little house shapes, and also, well, I don't have the other one here. Oh yeah, here's the A-line house piece. So this morning we created a little ornament with a picture. The other sample, which is I already took it back in my house, is a picture of me and Mr. Moon inside. So you can put a picture of your loved ones or your pets, or if you want to do a little illustration or a little stamped piece. This happens to just be a piece of scrapbook paper. So, and we made this cute little ornament, and that was our first makey. Our second makey was making the little shadow box house. Okay, and that was the back of that one. And so that was makey number 2. We created another piece using the house facade, making a card and a lot of Christmas washi tape. But of course, I am so excited to do this with Mary Englebright's new stamps and washi tape. Oh my gosh, what a cute sample with, and her, maybe one of her little houses inside. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to do that right away. That might be another upcoming makey if you don't get sick of it. Anyway, so that was our third makey. And then finally we did this one. And again, you could put a little hanger or make it into a tag, whatever you want. And then finally, last but not least, I was going to do more of a celestial one that isn't necessarily Christmas, okay? Excuse me, I need to get a drink of water. So before I start this, I am going to just take a 5-minute break, go get myself a glass of water, and come right back. I'm not going to turn the camera off. So if you want to hang out, I would love to have you. I'm just going to work on this until, I get it how I like it. And yeah, I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. All right, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go grab some water. Thank you, Nancy. I love you. Bye, babe. Okay, sorry about that. I had to say goodbye to everyone. It's quitting time. Yes, we have banker's hours. Everybody leaves at 4. Not me, but everybody else. All right. So now I guess the thing to kind of think about is, what do you want to do? Okay. So I'm not sure which moon I want to use. And of course, there's so many different ways that I could go about this. And it will be super fun to incorporate stamps. Yeah, Jan, no problem. Like I said, I'm just going to play. So if you guys are here, that's awesome. If not, and I don't even guarantee that I'm going to finish this all the way. I can't even decide which moon I want to use. Which moon should I use? I think I'm going to use this big one. Maybe not. I'm changing my mind. I do love this moon face, and if you look at it, you can see a lot of text. This is like obviously taken from one of my original paintings. If you look at it up close, you can see a lot of the texture because this was a wood icing painting, so it was very textural. So I like that a lot. Yeah, sure, I'll pull that other one up. Excuse me, Mr. Moon's supposed to be getting me some water, but so far it has not arrived, and my throat is so dry from talking. So for those of you, I don't know how many of you remember, I know Jan was here for sure, the time that I was doing a live and I completely I got choked up and I had a coughing fit, and I don't know why. I ended up just powering through it instead of turning off the camera, which now, of course, I wish I would have turned off the camera because it was really embarrassing, but it was also just terrible. But hopefully it won't be as bad as all that. I mean, I was really choked up and I was just coughing and coughing, and God only knows why I didn't leave. I just kept staying here coughing. So, of course, it depends on what else you think that you want to do. Like if I wanted to make like a little stamped dollar with a moon in the center, this would be awesome. If I want to do more of a scenic piece, then this one would probably work. I want to pull this out. This is one I did for one of my classes with one of my other collage sheets. So, of course, you can, excuse me, incorporate, the moons with any of those. Thank you so much. Oh, Jan. Okay. So I'm looking at the comments again. Which one did you want, Jan? This one or this one? Jan, say yes or no. If Jan's still here. I don't know if she's still here. She said, fickle woman, that's the one I wanted. So I'm not sure which one she meant. Anyway, doesn't matter. I have a few different cutouts. And so Nancy said, what kind of substrate? And I am using a hard cradled wood panel, 5x5, and it is gessoed, and then I coated it with just one layer of this heavy body cerulean deep blue. Okay. So yeah, that's a little big for the piece, although keep in mind, Phyllis, if you wanted, I could cut it closer. If I wanted it, if I did want to use this piece, then of course I could cut it smaller. Or remember, you can go off. This could be, hanging off of the piece as well. And I think that would probably work, right? And in fact, I'm kind of liking that, and again, depending on what I want to do here. So I'm already kind of thinking, and again, remember, I said that I wanted to just experiment with some stuff and try some things, that I wanted to let myself just, or not that I wanted to, but that I often do. So I'm going to smear some white gesso here. All right. I'm going to be really brave, and I'm actually going to glue this down. Honestly, in my mind, I feel like I really can't even make a mistake, because if I don't like it, if I hate it, if it's just completely a mess, like, it's okay. You know, nothing happens if it's bad or if I hate it. So I'd rather try it and see what happens rather than wonder, like, oh, if I did this or that, you know, do you know what I'm saying? So now for this, remember I had painted this substrate a while ago, so it's good and dry, okay? And that's really important when I'm doing stuff like this, because again, different ways to sort of incorporate it a little bit more. Now my brush, I just wet it a little bit, and I'm using it kind of to pull some of that color back away again. A little bit of a baby wipe, I guess. All right, so there's my first little layers, okay? And I'm going to now layer on another color. I think I want to, I'm going to do a little bit of my fluid quinacridone magenta, because it's going to be sort of transparent enough to turn everything kind of purpley, I think. Remember, often it's about the layers. So keep that in mind when you're building your colors. Or not building your colors is the wrong thing to say, when you're building your composition and just building your piece, right? Right, and I still feel like I need some more darkness, so I am going to break out my anthraquinone blue, which is very, very deep, okay? Hey, Tracy, yay, you made it back. So I'm sort of built. I don't even know if you can really see that much on the monitor. I'm sort of building up my outer layers to be a little bit darker. It's not really showing up very well at all. on screen. Yeah, it looks much darker on the screen than it does in real life. So I don't know. I'm just layering on some colors and some deeper values. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, so I could address this two ways. I could go ahead and glue that down like that. Or I could cut it off completely. I think I'm okay with gluing it down. I'm definitely buying a new bottle of glue after this. You guys probably think I'm completely crazy, which I partially am, but in a good way, in a harmless way. So if you are going to glue it down, then just make sure you get a nice, great fold, okay? And make sure you get it nice and flush. And then whatever's left off that back edge, I am going to file away. And a little bit on the side edge too. All right. And so that will be the base for my piece. I can continue to build some of those whites. In fact, I'm going to use a little bit of pearlescent white, or the white pearl. And then I'm going to stamp some stars, and I'm going to put a saying, I think. I don't know. That's what's in my mind right now. Yeah, Jan, that's a good thing. You know, Jan says, be careful about mail ordering PVA in cold weather. If it freezes, it's no good. A lot of golden products, they do not ship in the coldest times of winter. So like, that's why really you shouldn't really be able to get like masking fluid and certain things like that in this cold weather, because it will freeze. And then even if it does you know, thaw, it's still no good. You know, I put all those layers on, and then I sort of pulled them back. I think I'm going to go ahead and layer, I'm going to put a layer of that darker blue again on the whole dang thing, just because I like the color, and I like the sheen of it. And I also, yeah, I just like that little translucent kind of blue. And I can still, of course, build up my values even deeper if I want to, using like black or a darker purple again, or something like that. All right, so I'll let that dry for a bit, and then I am going to do some stamping. I'm definitely going to get my a couple of my dot stamps and things from my stamp track set. So let me grab a couple of those. And I was looking for my burst stamp, which I need. And then I know you can't see what this one is because one time I got, I think, some glue or something on it and it was like face down. But this is my little dot maker from my original stamp stack set, which I still love a lot. And then I got my little star stamp. I'm not sure. I can't remember what this one's from. Don't know if I'll even use that or not. And I pulled out these stars. These are from the original, the first year of Moon Mail, I think. And then these I pulled out. This is the stamp I was thinking of actually since I found it while I was looking. This is the stamp I thought would be a good one for the trees. For those of you who watched this earlier, I think these trees will go great right here. So I'm going to finish that off later. Sorry. Something shiny syndrome. I'm looking for my white pearl paint. And this is iridescent pearl. I'm going to put a little of that. Remember, for those of you, I know that I've told you a lot, many times about this, but on every jar or tube or bottle of golden acrylic paint, there is 3 black bars. Okay, so again, whether it's on a jar or on a bottle or on a tube, you'll see 3 black bars. Now on this one, you don't see the black bars because the paint is very opaque. Every label is hand painted. So if you see the black bars through it, that means it's transparent or translucent. If you do not see it, then that means it's opaque. So I already know that my iridescent pearl is transparent. Okay, so that is perfect because I want a little bit of that shimmery Right, I'm going to spread out some white gesso. Oops. Oh, that was bad. Bad. Thought my brush was clean. Nope. And I know you're all familiar, but I'm here just painting myself into a corner. Jan, thank you so much. The star stamp is called Starstruck. And yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there so far. Thank it. You know, it's I make it look easy. It is easy once you start to feel comfortable. I promise, if you do this stuff every day, pretty much, you know, it will become second nature. Things become easier the more that you do them, obviously, and you become less afraid. You become less afraid to make mistakes. You become, just it's okay if you make mistakes because you know you're going to learn from that mistake. I'm going to stamp this somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to like it, so I want to try it first. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that star for this or not. So I'm going to wipe it off and just wait a bit. So one thing that's happening as I'm wiping off, and this again is sort of just, you find these things out. I'm wiping some of this off and a little bit of it's coming up. Not a lot, but just a little, and I like it. I like how it's looking more mottled, and so I'm just pulling some of that back again. Okay, and then I do again want my edges to be deepened, so I'm going to take my burst stamp, and I know you probably can't see this very well. It's really well loved and used, and I'm not going to lie to you. I wish I had my mounted one right now. I would much rather be using my wood mounted burst stamp, but since I don't have it here, I'm not going to worry about it. Also, I have a bunch of gesso spread out over here, and I know I'm going to stick my hand in it and everything else, so I'm going to go ahead and cover that back up. Taking my burst stamp now, and I'm going to take a little bit of this magenta again. I'm going to spread it out here. And I'm going to use it to deepen my corners just a little bit. It's going to be super subtle. I don't even know if you'll be able to, you're not really going to see it online hardly at all. I can't get that subtlety to show up, but it is going to kind of turn my edges purple. And I'm not even sure if it's going to be quite as dark as I want it, so I might end up having to go in with some dioxazine purple or something like that. Again, some other things that you may not think of. I would like to change up the background color again just a little bit to bring in some other nuances of it. And so I want to use a little bit of green gold because green gold is, again, a very transparent color, but I love the way that it will sort of turn some of those blues into like a teal color, like a dark teal. So I'm going to try it again. If I don't like it, it's okay. I can remove it or pull it back again. But all the times that I try things, even if I don't like them, it adds to the piece, and even if I pull it all the way off, it's like it's still informing the piece somehow. I want to make sure that my white is very dry. If some of the green touches on some of the little areas, just like some of the magenta, and these are so subtle, I know you can't see it very well, but it is showing up, and that green is doing exactly what I thought it would and turning that sort of a dark teal. And so I really like having those different little layers and bits of color. Okay. And then I might even go up in here just the slightest amount to, again, reflected color is always super nice. Almost a dry brush. I don't know if you noticed that, but I had hardly anything on my brush. If I want to clean it out really, really well and make sure that it doesn't have anything dragging on it. Then I can kind of pull some of that back a little bit more even, because I just, again, want a little bit of that reflected color. All right, so I'm going to try to hold this up and just see if, oh, I wish the light could just shine on it so you could see it a little bit better. Let me see if I turn on my, even my, I was trying to turn on my, my flashlight to see if you can see any of that. I don't know if you really can. In person, I promise you, it's almost like oil on water, okay? And on the camera, it's looking so much like black, but it's really not. You can see it a little bit when I shine the light on it. See that? It's real pretty in person. On the camera, again, it looks just real dark and flat, but it's really not. And when I go to trying to shine that around, when I go and varnish it, you'll definitely see you know, those subtleties more, and of course in person. Yeah, Jan, I saw a part. I didn't see the whole thing, but I did see some excerpts from that, and that is crazy. Oh my gosh. Um, oh gosh, you guys are so sweet. So Nancy, this base that I'm using is a cradled panel. Here, I'll show you one. It looks just like this, only this is a 3x3, okay, and this is a 5x5. And that's what I started with, and I painted it all blue, okay? So I'm really thinking that I really want some word, like I want to stamp something. So I'm thinking of a moon saying or some kind of, I don't know. You know, we have some really great new moon stamps. Let me go grab one and see if it will be big enough. I'll be right back. Now, I'm going to try this. I don't know, again, if it's going to actually work or if I'm going to love it or what, but I'm going to try it. I'd like it to work because I think this would be great, but we'll see. You know, honestly, I know earlier I said, oh, I wish that I had that one stamp mounted. I wish I had this stamp unmounted. I'm just, what did Jan call me earlier? Fickle? I don't know. Bye, Phyllis. So that says, listen to her, the moon always knows. And I just love it. I mean, it stamped really nicely. It worked out better than I could have hoped. Normally it's not that way. Usually I have to wipe it off and stamp it again. And yeah, I'm super happy because I love this stamp. I love this saying, of course, but this is the first time I've actually used it. So, you know, that's kind of cool. Anyway, I don't know. I still may do something down here. I'm not really sure. I'm going to step away. I'm going to call it mostly done for now. And then actually, no, I'm thinking it needs one thing. And that's because, again, I looked up in the monitor. And when I do that, when I take a pause for a moment, a lot of times it will really, I just know what to do somehow. I don't know how or why, but by looking at it in the monitor, like I said earlier, or looking in my phone screen, generally, I can, it will help me a lot when I do that. And I know it needs a star. That's not the right star. I'm thinking maybe, hold on. I think I know which one if I can find it. Well, I don't know. For those of you who have this original moon mail stamp with the little I don't know what they are, the little 6-pointed stars, that if you have it wood mounted, it has a bigger one on the end. And that's really what I want. I want one that's like a 6-pointed star, but not quite so big as this. But I can't find it right now. So, oh goodness, I don't know. That just drives me crazy. But my stamps, I won't lie to you, they are spread out so bad, especially after I get done traveling. Nope, I'm just making a mess now. So the good thing about having most of those layers dry is that when I stamp and I don't like it, if I stamp in acrylic paint, I can easily wipe it away. So I do wish that you could see more of the subtle colors in here, because I know you're giving me a lot of compliments, which are so nice. I really appreciate them. But if you could see this in person, the colors are much nicer than how they're reading on the screen. So anyway, you'll just have to take my word for it. And then, of course, I will spray and varnish and sign it. But I won't do it right now because I'm going to let you all go. I know you probably have food to eat and dogs to feed and places to be. And same here. But I do want to add a star here. So I think I'm going to just add one star right there. And then I'll spray varnish it. I'll sign it. And again, for those of you who place orders today, all the projects that I made, so including this one, including the little ornament and the little house and the little mixed media card and the other little washi tape house fold over card, I am going to be giving these away as surprises in your packages. So anybody who orders today, you will be entered in the drawing for one of the Makeys. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I love doing this. I am so excited about being back here live with all of you and doing what I love most of all. And so I really appreciate you indulging me and being here with me. I hope that you have half as much fun as I do. I hope that you learn a little something. And I hope more than anything that you get to get Makey, because it's important. So the solid, Jan said, the solid star stamp that goes with the crescent moon. Oh, yeah, that would look good too, Jan. You're right. So I'm going to find a star eventually, and I'll put it right there, and I'll finish it off. And I'll post pictures of all of our projects today, okay? Thank you again. Love you to the moon and back. I really mean it. I hope you know I'm sincere. And I will see you tomorrow morning. I hope. I mean, we won't go all day, but we will do our stamp down to Christmas tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Time right here on RubberMoon TV. If you're not already subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did so, and definitely share the videos. Invite your friends to come and get makey with us. I would love it. So thanks again, and talk to you later. Bye. Thank you so much.